divine. You do. You bring in this spicy, aromatic. What are we making here today, first and foremost?
Well, you know, one of the funniest things is if I actually told my mom that I was making Rajma Chawal on a show,
yes,
she would make so much fun of me, because this is like the comfort food. This is like what you feed your kids for them to get that beautiful nourishment coming from the beans, and cooking comfort food, especially on a cold day like this. Rajma Chawal is like saying, oh, I'm having a nice little chili on a little rice, you know, comfort food.
So literal translation?
Rajma means kidney beans and Chawal means rice. Home cooked meals, onions, ginger, garlic, a basic starting point of any Indian curries, and then I'm going to build on it with some spices, a little bit of red chili, a little bit of turmeric, and then a little ground coriander, and then goes the garam masala. So now these are beautiful spices, very aromatic. Let them cook a little bit in there. Let them brown a little bit, and then we'll add the tomatoes.
While that's browning, tell us about your new restaurant, My Shanty.
Well, My Shanty is based on all my travels to India. I go to India every year. I love that country. I mean, I sometimes come back from that country and think, how the hell does this country survive? But it's like an addiction. It's like you need to go back to that country. So I go back to that country. I love it, but we go to people's homes and learn how to cook. So all these recipes are going to be from this auntie from here, that street vendor from here, that chef from this hotel, all combined together based on those travels of India. And that's going to be beautiful.
Okay, so when is it opening and where is it?
It's in South Surrey.
Yes.
It's going to be opening at the end of March.
End of March.
Yeah.
Okay, heads up, you're going to have to come back here and visit her. We'll get Don out there for a live-eye and check out My Shanty. You know we're going to make it out there.
Absolutely.
Oh, so good.
So what I just did was the onions had browned.
Yep.
They'd become like, they'd become caramelized a little bit. The French use a little bit of stock and a little bit of wine, deglazing the pan. Guess what we do? We use overripe tomatoes to really deglaze the pan. And it's beautiful. Genius. And a lot of flavors that come out of it. Once this is done, you've taken some kidney beans.
Yep.
Now, kidney beans, try to soak them overnight and then just boil them, because that's where the nutritional the nutritional value is.
Okay.
But sometimes when you're in a little bit of a rush, like Meeru wrote this recipe for the people in our second cookbook, for the fact that if somebody's really in a rush and they're not in a, they don't have a lot of time, they can come back, make this masala beforehand, and then add the kidney beans to the dish itself.
Not drained. You actually had some water in there, which is the soaking liquid.
Yeah, exactly. It was the water that was boiled in, so it gives a nutritional value to it.
We've only got a minute to go, and I got 2 more shows to talk about with Vikram Vij here. Top Canada, first and foremost. Oh my gosh, I love watching this show, and I love watching you on this show, because you're very direct yet kind.
Yes, but you know what? Because I've been on the other side of it, and being somebody who's cooked within those timings, I don't think we really need to be arrogant. All we need to do is nurture these kids, show them the ropes, because their hopes are on this, right?
And they're opening up a black box that might have, I don't know, a whole rabbit and green jello in it, for goodness sake. Now, make an appetizer in 20 minutes. That's
exactly.
hard work.
And the nerves and being there, it's so much work.
And then you taste it.
Exactly. I mean, the worst part is to taste it at 8:30 in the morning when you just don't even feel like tasting it. That's the toughest part. Anyway, I think the kidney beans are done.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pour them on top of your rice.
So while I eat this, can you tell us about your new show that is coming out when, in March?
On February 26th. Just
Wednesday.
the day after.
I thought it was March 6th.
I'm doing, I did George Strombo.
Yes.
That's going to be airing at 7 p.m. on this Wednesday.
Right.
Which is awesome. And then
we love sharing you with our Toronto brethren. But yes.
And also Recipe to Riches, that's going to be shown as well. And it's a great show. Now, Recipe to Riches is based on, let's say your mom had a great recipe and she really thinks that I should show this at the show.
Yes.
You're more than welcome to do this. So it's a very Canadian show. It's a very feel-good show. Arlene does a great job of marketing. Gail Simmons does a great job of talking about just the food. And I come from an entrepreneur side, having the Vij's at home curries, coming from taking these recipes and scaling them up to a higher level is what the angle is. Recipe to Riches, Chop Canada, My Shanty that's opening in South Surrey, White Rock. Vikram Vij, always a pleasure to have you here. My honor. I mean that from the bottom of my stomach.